What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica. We are down here on my way to pick my kid up from school. First day. So, what are we down here to talk about? I have so many thoughts in my head. I'm like, okay, are we going to talk about Lizzo? Are we going to talk about Put a Ring on It? Are we going to talk about Love and Hip Hop? Because I watched that yesterday. And I watched Erica and Bambi. Like, literally, I said, damn, that car is effed up on the side. I was watching them and I felt bad, but then I'm like, I feel like when you have an awareness of the behavior of a collective of people, you should move accordingly and move in the best way that is beneficial to your overall well-being. Do you know what I mean? Like Bambi, she was like, yeah, I'm getting a divorce. Like, I'm not about to do this. I am not about to do this. After 3 kids, you've realized after marrying a man who is literally stunted in his emotional development, so stunted that he is like a child. He's literally, Scrappy is a child, like literally a child. But it's like, I remember watching Love and Hip Hop with Erica and Scrappy and the stuff that they were going through, and it really doesn't look any different from what Bambi and Scrappy are going through. And I think there has to come a time where we in our community, when you see a man behaving in a way, I'm all for second chances and nobody is their mistakes, and I'm all for that. But if you see a man literally cruise around town like an infant with his mother not far behind, I think at some point it's time to read the Yelp reviews. Erica, Mena, read the Yelp reviews. Bambi, you had evidence on television. Like, you had televised evidence. You had televised evidence of what you were about to experience. With Erica and Safaree, I feel like Erica, like, the same thing. You walked right into that. For what purpose? And I feel like this. I just don't know why when you see a person act a certain way that you don't take heed to that evidence. Like, you don't take heed to the evidence. Now, I could see, like, if you are moving like really fast with someone, you're not going to be able to see evidence of their behavior because you're moving too fast. That's why moving too fast is not good for most people, because you don't know how the person was. You don't have access to Yelp reviews. You know what I'm saying? You gotta see the Yelp reviews. And, it's still like Darion. Now, with the Darion situation, like, okay, back to Erica Mena. And I feel like that union between her and Safaree was literally for TV. And that's what makes it even more sick to me. Like, it makes it gross to me. Like, I don't believe that Safaree ever loved Erica. I don't think that he has the capacity to love anything outside of himself. And it's very clear. Very clear. You know what I'm saying? Darion, you've been with this lady for 13 years. Y'all break up a couple of times. You have a baby, 3 babies during the times that you break up. She comes back. They're at a, you know, there has to be, I think a lot of the times, I think what we should do for, like, you know, younger kids growing up and, you know, starting to, you know, relate to other people and build relationships with people, I think we really have to promote self-love, because I don't think if you loved yourself that you would, for 13 years, like Mimi and Stevie J, for 13 years, go round and round with this guy, for him to come on a television show and publicly humiliate you. Now, the girl, Kyra, what's her name? Kai, I don't know. I don't remember her name. And like I posted on Twitter and then the other day, I don't know if she's a fool or a hero, because you inadvertently opened this woman's eyes. There's no way, as a woman, as a fully sane, functioning in your brain, there's no way can you guys, there's no way that you could have thought that what you were about to experience with this man was going to be different from the experience that the woman that he was with for 13 years has. You understand what I'm saying? You understand? Like, honestly, I'm trying to see. It says no parking, but I'm going to stay out here because it's like, I don't want to be caught in the, hopefully somebody moves and I can move out of the space. But anyways, I think that there's no way, as a fully functional, sane person, did you think that you were going to have a different experience with Darion. Like, there's no way. So I feel like, did you do that on purpose? Did you satisfy your, you know, cravings for intimacy and companionship with this man, knowing that he's on a show trying to figure out whether or not he's ready for marriage after 13 years. And I'm not saying it to make a person sound stupid, because we, like I said earlier when I was talking about Nicki Minaj, we have all made some choices or relationship choices that didn't serve us, right? And then some stay longer than others. Some recognize it right away. Some go back and forth for a little while and then say, you know what, I'm done with this shit. I don't have to deal with this shit. I don't think, there's no way that what's her name? Kay, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm so glad that she wasn't so protective of him that she did not bust him out on camera. Like, when she said, I knew it. When they said that he had ghosted her and it was been for 10 days, and in those 10 days he was love bombing Lex. He was love bombing her, because she even said these last, 10 or 15 days have been incredible, right? Because he already knew he done fucked up. He fucked up. And actually, you know what? When you think about it and you sit behind it, you think more. I don't know why. Maybe he thought, I'm just going to say, maybe he thought She's been with me for 13 years, 3 kids, in and out of our relationship. We go on this show. I publicly humiliate her. I might as well get my rocks off again. She hasn't left. She hasn't stayed gone. She's been back and forth for 13 years. I can possibly have sex with another person and satisfy my own selfish needs, and then she's not gonna leave. The crazy part is he had no intentions of telling her. No intentions of telling her. If it wasn't for that girl, because there are some women, like, you have to think about it, like, she ain't shit, right, for sleeping with this man knowing he's in a relationship, right? But at the same time, thank God for her. Thank God for her saying, hey, oh, was you gonna tell her that we was fucking? That I came to the place that she had issues with, and I came to that place and screwed you not once, a few times. It sounded like it was more than once. And you think you're going to sit across from me? That's why he didn't want to have closure. And you know, I'm not a big proponent of closure, but I feel like that needed to happen. And she needed to see. But the gag is she going to go back to him? Because he's done everything else. What could he possibly do? What could he possibly do for you to leave? Possibly, you know what? Like, what could he do? He's done everything, and you haven't moved an inch. And then you get on TV and he publicly humiliates you. He publicly humiliates you. So now what? There just has to come a time, I think when you are like around like young women in relationships, I think the best message to like embed and encode into this programming of womanhood is love yourself and make sure that your relationship is benefiting you as well. Not benefiting where this is this transaction, but that you're not a headache. They're not a headache to you. They're not making your life harder. They're making your life easier. They're bringing you peace and sanctuary. They're not bringing you chaos, confusion, war and battle. And we understand that in relationships, conflicts happen, but this abuse, this constant abuse that women seem to endure in relationships, we look at all of these relationships, Erica, Mena, Bambi, Lex. Every time we see these relationships, the men have really behaved incredibly horrible to these women. And there is no honor in sacrificing yourself for somebody. There's no honor in that. I don't care what y'all say. There's no honor in sacrificing your well-being and your peace just to be in a relationship. Do you understand? It should be peaceful. It should be sanctuary. It should be, like I say, you're going to have disagreements, and that happens. But you want to be able to be disagreeable or in conflict with somebody who knows how to be in disagreement, who knows how to be emotionally intelligent from that space. Not when you bring them something like Bambi was bringing it to Scrappy. You're disrespectful. You don't have to go out all the time. But Bambi, at the same time, why did you think you were going to have a different experience than Erica? Why did you think that? To the point where y'all weren't even getting along, like she was your enemy. Like she was your enemy. Y'all be looking at the women that the man that you're with, that they left, that the woman left. First of all, you got to realize, did she leave him or did he leave her? If she left him, that first is the first red flag. That's number one. Why did she leave you? Number two, why do you make that woman your enemy? She actually could be a great source of information. And then you take the information, take what you want, and put the rest of it to the side. That's in a perfect world. But we live in a society where the woman sees the last woman as her enemy when you sleeping with the enemy. Hello? Erica Mena. Even a ashy ass nigga like Mandisi says, this man is leaving his baby shower. When an ain't shit nigga, that's the problem. The problem is there's not enough men saying, dude, what are you doing? Like, this is absolutely wrong. You shouldn't be operating. None of those men check Safaree. Like, bro, what are you doing? You can't be doing that. You about to leave? You cannot do that, dude. This is your baby shower. Instead, they like, man, gossiping. Man, they talking divorce and stuff like that. And Bambi was dead ass. She was like, yes, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. And then did you see Scrappy literally throw a tantrum? He threw a tantrum. And then he's like, well, who got you this store? Who got you this store? Now you want to make it seem like Bambi didn't bring anything to the relationship. That's what you really want to make it seem like? Bambi said, you're not going to do that. And she even brought up this idea of what you bring to the table. I really believe when I keep hearing that in the digital space lately, what you bring to the table, what you bring to the table, what you bring to the table. And it's like, that's really hypergamous thinking, right? How is this person gonna elevate me? Not how can I elevate this person? It's really, really backwards. But it's so weird because I really believe, just like in this game that we're in called The Pillars of Patriarchy, this is the game that we're in. And I feel like men hold power, but at the same time are coddled. Like all of them, coddled, protected. And it's like, you have this power to be babied. You have this power that you're exerting your power. You're in position. You're a baby. You are a baby. And you're being treated as a baby. You're being coddled as a baby. There's no accountability for your behavior. Everybody looks past your behavior and partners with you again and again and again. How does a man and a woman get a divorce and the woman never marry again and the man get married 2 more times? How do you, and the woman filed for divorce? Like, I don't get it. Oh, my skin feels so smooth. I mean, I get it. It's just programming, socialization. It's programming. It's like, instead of being like, there are a lot of alerts and red flags going off about this. Like the girl in Put a Ring on It. There's no way, if you thought that you were about to have a relationship with a man who is on a show trying to figure out if marriage is the next step after 13 years, after a decade and a half. If you thought that you were going to be different, I suggest that you get a psychological evaluation. Literally. Like, no, for real. I'm done talking about it. I guess we're not going to talk about... All I have to say about Lizzo is this. Lizzo has done nothing to nobody, anybody at all. Lizzo is feeling the brunt of her community, or a community, coming after her because she's a fat black woman who empowers white women. And when you are a black woman who empowers white women, let alone a fat black woman empowering white women, black people will call you a mammy. because your expression is making white women feel good. And there has been a correlation that fat black women are here to make white women feel comfortable. And when white women are overjoyed and singing your songs and doing TikToks with your songs, it like now you're a mammy. But they do it with every black person who is accepted and empowers white people. You are Uncle Tom, you are a mammy, and it's really done mostly to women. But that's what I think about Lizzo's situation. I think when you empower fat white women or white women, you're going to be looked at as a mammy. And she hasn't done anything to anybody. She has never even acted in a way that would be like, girl, she's a mammy. Ask Tabitha Brown. They was mammifying her, you know, because the tone of her voice, the way she talks, you know, that accent, and then being so nice and gentle and people loving that, it's like, oh, you're being a mammy, you know. So it is what it is. Anyways, y'all, take care of each other, protect your energy, and we're out of here. Peace.